Your Judicial Watch will continue pushing this lawsuit, and hopefully, the Trump administration handles it in a different way than the Biden administration's been handling it. First up is the January 6th certification of President Trump's election. An historic day. As I've noted previously, Trump's election in many ways is a vindication for the rule of law and a stand against the lawfare and the abuses of power by the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, or some might say the Biden-Harris-Obama-Clinton administration, targeting Trump and other innocent Americans. And I was able to attend in person on behalf of Judicial Watch the election certification on Capitol Hill. I went up to Capitol Hill. I was a guest of the Speaker, and we were invited because of our work on election integrity. And so I can't think of better election integrity watchdogging than to go and watch the actual certification. And here's a video of it briefly.
State of the vote for the President of the United States as delivered to the President of the Senate is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris.
Historic occasion on Capitol Hill. There were no challenges to the electors. This is the first time in some time Democrats haven't challenged a Republican presidential election. Despite what you hear in the news from the propaganda media, Democrats almost always challenge Republican victories through the federal law and under the Constitution. They didn't do it this time around, so the whole process, I think, took about 30 minutes. And what happens is the representatives of the House and the Senate, if you didn't watch it, they read each state's electoral count, meaning, they'll say Alabama, 11 electoral votes for Donald J. Trump from Florida, 11 electoral votes for for J.D. Vance from Ohio. And then if it's, and of course all the Republicans get up and applaud, and then when the states that go for Kamala Harris get read, all the Democrats get up and applaud. And you can see at the end, everyone applauded at the conclusion of the process. Now, I wanted to attend the January 6th proceedings, certification proceedings, last time around in 2021. And I guess it's probably good that I didn't. It certainly would have been an interesting event. But the public galleries in which I was sitting this year were not open because Nancy Pelosi had shut down public access because of COVID mania. So because this was, by the way, was 2021. COVID had long passed in terms of being a public health threat, to the extent it even was a public health threat in a way that would have required cutting off access to our nation's capital. So I wasn't able to, even though I was planning to and would have, attend the January 2021 January 6th certification. But the January 6th certification this year was another reason, and I think it was important that we played this section of the proceedings because the media doesn't like to admit that Trump won or provide the kind of historic nature of a record of his historic victory. But obviously January 6th now is, for the left, the equivalent of Pearl Harbor. And they purposely mislead and lie about what happened on January 6th in order to advance their goal, which is to prevent anyone from challenging elections that they win in suspicious ways or circumstances. Now, in this year, it was Trump's victory was too pronounced in order for them to be able to, quote, steal the election. But that's not always going to be the case. And like, for instance, since 2020, in 2021, January 6th, the establishment here in town got around and passed a law making it more difficult for Congress to challenge voter fraud and voter election fraud. So meaning if there are challenges to electors in Congress, it used to be you only needed one person to make the challenge. Now the numbers are significantly higher. I think it's at least 20% of the House has to sign on, and I think half the Senate. So that's, to me, an unconstitutional hurdle to challenging elections. So that all being said, though, congratulations to President Trump. In a week or two, a little bit over a week, he'll be inaugurated, God willing, and the next Trump administration will begin, and there's a lot of work to be done. But I don't want to let January 6th pass by without the mention of Judicial Watch's client, Ashli Babbitt's family. We represent her estate in a $30 million wrongful death action. And it was good to see, here's the shooting death of Ashli Babbitt. Now, the media and politicians in the Democratic Party took January 6th as an opportunity to lie about what happened on January 6th, suggesting police officers were killed as a result of January 6th. Well, that simply isn't the case. The one officer who died most closely to January 6th died of natural causes the day after the incident, and other officers committed suicide, and those deaths are being attributed to January 6th in a way that I don't think is appropriate, nor does the evidence warrant it. The only official homicide victim on January 6th is Ashli Babbitt. Now, I know there were other deaths that day of protesters. Miss Boyland, I know people are concerned about the way she died and the circumstances, but her death was not listed as a homicide. It's not to say it shouldn't be in retrospect, but the only official homicide victim is Ashli Babbitt, the 14-year veteran of the Air Force, who was needlessly gunned down, shot, and killed by Lieutenant Byrd, who subsequently was elevated to captain, given all sorts of cash and other special favors and benefits and protections, and wasn't seriously investigated. Here's the shooting death of Ashli Babbitt, and I'll warn you, it's upsetting and outrageous. I can't believe he popped out and shot her like that. Byrd is a menace to the public safety as far as I'm concerned. And his disciplinary record, he shouldn't have even been there. And that's, of course, part of our lawsuit. What was the training? Now, the lawsuit's been set for trial in 2026. There's a hearing scheduled at the end of the month. And President Trump raised Ashli's death the other day when the media was trying to corner him on the idea of providing pardons for the hundreds, if not thousands, I don't know, I guess it's over 1,300 now, of Americans prosecuted in this jihad against Trump supporters as a result of January 6th. Let's listen to what President Trump had to say.
Police officers were injured by rioters on January 6th. Will you pardon anyone who attacked a police officer?
Well, you know, the only one that was killed was a beautiful young lady named Ashli Babbitt. She was killed, and there was actually somebody else that was killed, also a MAGA person, but people don't give it 100% credibility. I'm going to find out about it, and we're going to find out. But Ashli Babbitt was killed. She was shot. She had never been shot. She was shot for no reason whatsoever. In fact, they say that she was trying to hold back the crowd, and the crowd was made up of a lot of different people, so we'll see. But I will tell you this, the person that was killed was Ashli Babbitt. The other thing is, when they talk, you know, there was never charges of insurrection or anything like that. But if there were, this would be the only insurrection in history where people went in as insurrectionists with not one gun, okay? And let me tell you, the people that you're talking about have a lot of guns in their home for hunting and for shooting and for entertainment, a lot of good reasons. But there wasn't one gun that they found. And why didn't they find the bomber, the pipe bomber? You know, they know who the pipe bomber is. The FBI knows who it is. The status of the FBI has gone down so far.
So the status of the Ashli Babbitt lawsuit that's being brought against the federal government on behalf of her estate by Judicial Watch and her widow, Aaron Babbitt, widower, is many of the claims are going to go to trial. Other claims the Biden administration wants to shut down and ask the court to throw out. And the big question is, on January 30th, what is going to be the position of the government? I mean, the Biden administration successfully to date has moved this case from San Diego, where Ashli lived, her husband lived, to here in Washington, D.C., obviously to get the benefit of an anti-Trump judiciary, a biased judiciary, and you know, and make it harder for Ashli's family to get justice. And on top of that, they're trying to decimate the case and avoid the issue of how did Byrd, how was he allowed to be there, and what was behind the training and such that allowed the needless shooting death of this American citizen. The government's got to be held accountable for that. The Biden administration doesn't want that to happen, and that's going to be one of the issues at the hearing at the end of the month. I think it's January 30th that's been set. So the big question is the Trump administration, which by then will be in office for 10 days, will they take a different position than the Biden administration thus far on this Ashli Babbitt case? So it's going to be very interesting to see. So you have to keep on coming back here to get more information on the Ashli Babbitt lawsuit, a lawsuit the media doesn't want to follow, a lawsuit the media doesn't want to report on, because the details are completely devastating to the left-wing narratives on January 6th. Because if the only homicide, some call it a murder, on January 6th was of a Trump supporter by a police officer who was out of control, that changes the narrative quite a bit, huh? So your Judicial Watch will continue pushing this lawsuit, and hopefully, you know, the Trump administration handles it in a different way than the Biden administration's been handling it. But in the meantime, pray for Ashli and her family, or her family. I guess Ashli doesn't need prayers because I'm sure she's in a special place right now. But her family's still mourning her loss. You know, the loss. It's just terrible. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.